Everybody, this is Neil Thompson. I am the founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for STEM professionals. The first offering of the platform is a public speaking course called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about the course, please go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that is teachthegeek.com. I came across this article not too long ago in the San Francisco Chronicle, and it was about our former U.S. president, Barack Obama, giving a speech at a Silicon Valley event, and it's a tech conference, and he'll be talking about leadership and his time in the White House. And I guess the tone of the article was really talking about whether he was equipped or qualified to be talking at a tech conference. I mean, he never worked in tech. And he was president, not president of a tech company. He was president of the United States, not president of a tech company. So what gives him the qualifications to talk at a tech event? But being a former president, I'm sure no matter where you go, people are interested in what you have to say. And so what I got really from the article is, one of the things I got from the article is you don't necessarily you don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you have the leverage to negotiate. So I figured he had, being that he's a former president, and as I said, people are interested in what he has to say. So that's why he's there speaking on leadership. And he certainly has expertise in leadership. But then once I finished reading the article, it got me thinking about the type of things that people talk about. And I think it's really important, if ever you're giving a speech in front of people, to talk about things you know about. And I know that might seem pretty obvious, but man, sometimes, at least thinking back to the time when I used to work in corporate America, it was rather obvious sometimes that there are people giving presentations on things they knew absolutely nothing about. and I highly advise anyone watching this Facebook Live video to not do that, because you will be exposed at some point. And it's not a good feeling, especially if you know that people in the audience know that what you're talking about is garbage and you don't know what you're talking about. It's not a good feeling. So don't put yourself in that position if at all possible. And I think a way to avoid that position, at least what came to my mind, is anticipating the questions that people are going to ask at the end of your presentation. And if you're able to answer those questions, that means you must know the subject matter well enough so that you can actually give a presentation and be seen as an expert, as opposed to just somebody giving a presentation. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm reminded of a speaker that I know of here in the San Diego area. I remember her telling me that her main topic for her speeches or her presentations is leadership. And she told me she's never been a leader in her life. I mean, she never led a company, she never led a team, she never led anything, a project. I mean, but she talks to big companies about leadership and how to become better leaders. And I just remember thinking at the time when she was telling me this, well, how the hell are you qualified to tell anybody about leadership if you've never been a leader? It just doesn't seem right. That's pretty messed up. Like the things that I like to talk about are public speaking for people like myself, people that worked in the science and engineering fields. And I think I'm pretty qualified to talk on that subject because I lived it. I was an engineer. I had to give presentations. I mean, it wouldn't even occur to me to speak about something that I didn't do myself, because it would be really hard for me to put myself in other people's shoes to be able to talk about things that I never lived. I mean, could you imagine me being as a science and engineering person talking to, I don't know, sales people on how to sell? Like, I never had to sell. I never worked as a salesperson. I was a product development engineer. I was at my desk in front of my computer or in the lab. I never had to go out on calls and sell things to people. I wouldn't have that credibility in front of them. And unless they're looking for a different perspective, I guess, from somebody that's outside of sales, I suppose it could work. But if you're looking for somebody that has that expertise, firsthand, I mean, you're not gonna listen to me, as you shouldn't. You shouldn't listen to me. You listen to somebody who's actually lived it, lived that experience and knows what they're talking about because they lived that experience. It boggles my mind. But so I guess the point of this whole Facebook Live is just to really reiterate the fact that just talk about things that you know. At least it's easier that way, and it's less stressful that way. I couldn't even imagine trying to talk about something I didn't know very well. I feel like I'd be so anxious, more so than usual. I mean, people already get a little nervous when it comes to public speaking. Can you imagine how nervous you're going to be if you're talking about something you don't really know all that well? It'll just be just 10 times worse. Stick to things that you know well about. And the way to really gauge whether you know the subject matter well is, as I mentioned before, trying to anticipate the questions that audience members are going to ask. And if you're able to answer them, then you're good. You know the subject matter well. And if you can't answer them, you might want to find something else to talk about. My name is Neil Thompson. I am the founder of Teach the Geek. It's a platform for STEM professionals. The first offering of the platform is a public speaking course called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about the course, please go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that is teachthegeek.com. Until next time, please take care.